Long before the hum of engines, the precision of blueprints, or the complex equations of physics, humanity looked to the skies. What did they see? Not just birds, but a boundless canvas for dreams. And from these dreams, stories were born, tales that reveal something profoundly universal about the human spirit. Across continents and millennia, separated by vast oceans and countless centuries, nearly every civilization independently conceived of the same impossible yet irresistible vision, the ability to defy gravity and soar. Among the most enduring and poignant of these narratives is the Greek myth of Icarus and Daedalus. Picture this: a brilliant inventor, Daedalus, and his son, Icarus, trapped on the sun-drenched island of Crete, prisoners of King Minos. Their only hope for escape: to build wings. With painstaking care, Daedalus fashioned magnificent wings of feathers and wax. He warned his son, "Fly a middle course, neither too low, lest the damp clog your wings, nor too high, lest the sun melt the wax." But Icarus, young and exhilarated by the intoxicating freedom of flight, ignored his father's wisdom. He soared higher and higher, drawn by the sun's golden allure, until the wax softened, then melted. His feathers scattered, and he plummeted from the sky, vanishing into the sea that forever after bore his name. This wasn't merely a cautionary tale about youthful hubris or the dangers of unchecked ambition. It was in essence humanity's very first engineering manual for flight, beautifully wrapped in poetic allegory. Halfway across the globe, in ancient Indian civilization, we find equally ambitious visions of aerial travel. Texts like the Vaimanika Shastra describe incredible flying chariots known as Vimanas. These were no simple fantasies. They were depicted with astonishing detail. Intricate specifications for construction, exotic fuels, and complex navigation systems. Imagine multi-storied aerial palaces, perhaps even cities in the sky, capable of traversing vast distances, piloted by gods and celestial beings across the heavens. Meanwhile, in ancient China, the path to flight took a more grounded yet equally ingenious turn. The humble kite, often a child's toy, emerged as humanity's first truly successful flying machine. Chinese engineers and strategists transformed kites into sophisticated instruments, used for military signaling, measuring distances, and crucially, studying wind patterns and aerodynamic lift. Centuries before Western science formalized such concepts, the Chinese understood with remarkable intuition that true flight wasn't about brute force or raw power. It was about a subtle, profound understanding of the unseen currents, the invisible rivers of air waiting to be harnessed. But myths and kites, while inspiring, weren't enough for the truly obsessed. For millennia, the human spirit has been gripped by a primal urge to defy the earth. Throughout history, individuals, driven by an irrepressible, almost maddening need to soar, have strapped crude wings to their bodies and, with a mix of terror and exhilaration, leapt from cliffs, towering structures, and ancient temples. These weren't mere dreamers. They were pioneers, willing to risk everything for a glimpse of the sky from above. In 9th century Cordoba, a brilliant mind named Abbas ibn Firnas emerged. He wasn't just a scholar, he was a Persian polymath, a true Renaissance man centuries ahead of his time, who became one of history's first recorded human gliders. This wasn't a fantasy for him, he engineered. He meticulously studied intricate mechanics of bird flight, observing subtle shifts of feathers and powerful thrusts of wings. With this profound understanding, he painstakingly crafted his own wings from robust silk and the powerful feathers of eagles. Then, at the remarkable age of 65, a testament to his lifelong dedication, he ascended a tower. A captivated crowd fixed upon him. With a deep breath, he launched himself into the unknown. For several precious, breathtaking moments, suspended between earth and sky, he achieved what had been reserved for birds and gods alone. The wind sang in his ears, the world stretched out beneath him, a silent testament to his audacious vision. His descent, however, was a stark reminder of the unforgiving laws of physics. His landing was less graceful, a jarring, painful crash that left him injured, his back protesting. But even in that moment of impact, Ibn Firnas had learned something profoundly crucial. He realized that successful flight wasn't just about exhilarating liftoff or serene glide. It demanded a controlled, safe return to the ground. He had, through his own body, identified the three fundamental interconnected challenges of human flight: the initial takeoff, the sustained gliding, and crucially, the controlled landing. These early aviators, though lacking sophisticated scientific instruments and theoretical frameworks, were never short on spirit. They understood intuitively what we now know through physics, that true flight is not about conquering gravity, but about understanding its principles, harnessing its forces, and working asterisk with asterisk it. Every spectacular failure, every broken wing, every bruised body, carved the earliest, most perilous path toward the sky. Each broken bone, each scraped knee was a lesson, a data point written not in equations, but in the raw, visceral language of experience, long before the science to explain it was discovered. Visualize it, an ancient figure silhouetted against a fiery sunset, standing on the precipice of a towering cliff. Leather wings, meticulously crafted, are strapped firmly to his arms. Below, a hushed, expectant crowd gathers, their faces upturned, a mixture of awe and trepidation in their eyes. In his eyes, as he prepares to leap, you see not just fear, but an electrifying surge of excitement and an unquenchable desire for the impossible. That singular, powerful scene echoes through the annals of human history, repeated countless times by brave pioneers who, with unwavering resolve, refused to accept that humans were forever meant to remain earthbound. Their legacy is the sky itself. What drove these ancient aviators wasn't madness. It was something far more profound. The same indomitable force that propels all human progress, the unwavering refusal to accept limitations. Bound by gravity, humanity had gazed skyward for millennia, dreaming of the freedom of the air. These pioneers looked at birds not just as animals, but as living blueprints, as ultimate teachers. With obsessive curiosity, they meticulously studied every curve of a wing, every subtle shift in flight patterns, every effortless glide. They were determined to decode the fundamental secrets of the sky, to understand the invisible forces that allowed creatures to defy gravity. Centuries later, Leonardo da Vinci would formalize these observations into intricate designs for flying machines, sketching concepts far ahead of his time. Yet, the true foundation of flight was laid much earlier, by countless anonymous cliff jumpers and daring tower leapers. These weren't just acts of desperation. They were the world's first, albeit brutal, aerodynamic experiments. With rudimentary wings crafted from wood, fabric, and feathers, they launched themselves into the void, using their own bodies as the ultimate test subjects. Each terrifying leap was a hypothesis, each plummeting descent an unforgiving data point in humanity's quest for flight. Their failures were not setbacks, but invaluable lessons, as crucial as any success. Each crash, each terrifying tumble, was a harsh but effective teacher. It taught them, through visceral experience, about air resistance, wing loading, and the fundamental relationship between weight and lift. They were writing the first chapters of aeronautical engineering, not with pen and paper, but in blood and broken bones. Their methods were crude, their understanding incomplete, yet they were driven by a singular vision, a dream that seemed impossible, but felt inevitable. These weren't just individual obsessions. These desperate, courageous leaps were profound expressions of humanity's deepest, most ancient longing. To fly is to transcend our biological limitations, to defy the gravity that binds us to the earth. It is to join the realm of the divine, to soar alongside gods and angels, to experience a freedom previously unimaginable. It is to prove that the boundless human imagination, coupled with relentless will, can overcome any physical obstacle. The ancient pioneers understood this profound truth instinctively, feeling it in their souls. As we stand on the shoulders of these giants, we must remember their immense contribution. Every modern aircraft, every space shuttle, every drone, each carries within its design, its purpose, the indelible DNA of those first desperate leaps from ancient cliffs. It is the spirit of relentless inquiry, the willingness to risk everything, the courage to attempt the impossible, that is the true engine of human flight. The age of myths, where flight was reserved for gods and legends, was slowly ending. But from the ashes of these daring, often tragic experiments, the age of mechanics was about to begin. The visionaries who survived the fall, whose lessons and courage inspired generations, became the true architects of the sky. Their legacy laid the groundwork for a future where humanity would finally claim its place among the clouds.